Hi guys, you're joining me to visit the Osaka Expo. Stay tuned to find out which pavilions are really worth visiting. But first, let's take a look at the SG60 celebrations. I was invited to join Singapore's 60th birthday celebration right here in Osaka itself. Being in Japan for about close to 2 years now, attending an event like this really conjures emotions. It reminds you of home, friends and family. Yeah, just sharing this same emotion with fellow Singaporeans who are also living in Japan, especially around Osaka here. It's a special feeling. You do genuinely miss home. You do tear up a bit when you hear the songs being performed, songs that you're so familiar with. And it's nice to have a community to connect with and not lose that sense of what it means to be Singaporean. I think that's really important, and I truly feel privileged and definitely grateful to have a country that is still looking out for its people, even though they're miles away from home. Alright, moving on to the pavilions right now. If you are intending to visit the Osaka Expo and you prefer to be surprised by what's within the pavilions, I would advise you to stop watching right now because they are spoilers. Otherwise, stay tuned. But first, I want to talk about the queue. As you can see, these guys here under the hot sun, they're turning into aburi salmon. The queue for the Italy pavilion itself, you can see here, is really long. I was told that it could even last up to 7 hours. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's insane. I'm fortunate to have the VIP pass from the Singapore National Day event that allows us to just walk straight into the pavilions. The first pavilion I visited was the Italian one, and I think it's the best simply because they've brought in authentic art pieces such as the Farnese Atlas here. This marble statue was sculpted in the 2nd century AD. It's the first time it's been displayed in Japan, and it's probably the last time I'll ever see it in person. So if you only have time to visit one pavilion, I would say visit the Italian one. But is it worth queuing up for 7 hours under the hot sun? I don't think so. I hope you have the chance to visit after summer when the temperature is a bit more bearable. I'm not sure how these kids are surviving the heat that day. Looks like they're having fun. I'm glad. There's also this circle of mist that comes up periodically. In terms of the facade, some of the outstanding pavilions are from China, and next to it is Kuwait. There's also this grand ring which runs across the entire Osaka Expo. It is the world's largest wooden structure as of now. Pretty impressive. The next impressive facade is from UAE, as well as Qatar. The next pavilion I actually visited was none other than the United States of America. Again, look at the queue, it's insane. I really feel bad for these folks. The American pavilion felt like it was half space station and half theme park. The other popular pavilion that has a long queue, as you can see here, of up to several hours is none other than the French pavilion. With the VIP pass, you see me here just again walking straight into the entrance. Here I'm just looking back at the crowd, imagining if I were to visit with a regular pass, I would probably just go home after making it into one pavilion. The moment you enter, you're greeted by this cool collab featuring Studio Ghibli, as well as installations that strongly remind me of Team Lab. LV being one of the main sponsors for the French pavilion, it's no surprise to see a couple of exhibits featuring a lot of LV. I would say the entire French pavilion feels very artsy. There's a strong focus on fashion. Take this Christian Dior room for example. Super artsy. And the last section with the LED displays really reminds me of TeamLab. Feels super inspired. It's very sensorial. You really get a sense of high budget, but not just blatantly executed. I think it's all really meticulously crafted. I really like this particular piece, which has a rope that connects the torii, the Japanese gate, to the cathedral. You can also explore the French pavilion via a virtual walkthrough. All you have to do is just scan this QR code. I definitely think the French pavilion is a must visit. Next up is the extremely exclusive Japan Pavilion, which is hard to get into. You can only get in via reservation. To be honest, I was really expecting a lot more from the host country's pavilion, especially after seeing France and Italy's pavilions. I think being the host country, Japan was heavily focused more on an educational direction. A lot of it has to do with sustainability. They've put a lot of effort into showing how they would recycle and repurpose all the materials from the expo itself. One really cool thing was this world's largest piece of rock from Mars that was discovered in Antarctica by a Japanese expedition team. And you can see here they've also featured how algae would be the source of protein for the future. Here you can see a whole wall of Hello Kitties being interpreted as different types of algae, including the popular seaweed or kelp, which we all love. And in this cool installation here, you can't quite see it, but all these tubes are actually filled with moving liquid, creating a really cool effect. And of course, it's very important to educate the world that Transformers is from Japan. On my way to the Singapore Pavilion, I was happy to see that the kind staff are taking turns to provide some relief from the intense heat that day. There was yet another National Day reception in the evening at the Singapore Pavilion, featuring Senior Minister Lee again.
Thank you, Ambassador. Welcome everybody to the Singapore Pavilion, to our Little Red Dot. We've been talking about Little Red Dots for more than 30 years now, I think. But this is the first time I've actually been at one. I'm happy to see it's a beautiful one, and to have many Singaporeans here to celebrate SG60 and our National Day with me at this Osaka Expo.
I was fortunate enough to thank him personally for everything he's done for Singapore, which he replied, "Thank you for your support." The weather finally began to cool down in the evening, and I ticked off the final item on my list, which is to come face to face with the life-size Gundam. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll be sharing more experiences real soon. Take care guys, and to all fellow Singaporeans, Majulah Singapura.